What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since '03 and starting to get cautiously optimistic about this Pistons team. The Detroit Pistons put it on the Indiana Pacers last night as they won 130 to 106. In this video, I want to talk about that game. I want to talk about the repercussions for the NBA Cup standings and what we have to do going forward to make sure that we qualify. And then I also want to touch on our game tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers. Quick heads up before we get into all of that. This will be the last day that I am on the road, so hopefully video quality, audio quality should be back to normal for all the videos starting with the next one. So, the first thing that I do want to talk about is where we stand in the NBA Cup and what we need to do to qualify. So we have one more regular NBA Cup game, and that will be Tuesday against the Milwaukee Bucks. The winner of that game, whether it be us or the Bucks, automatically clinches the division and will be in the NBA Cup, no questions asked. So if we beat Milwaukee Tuesday, we're in. If we beat Milwaukee on Tuesday, we're in, and if we lose to Milwaukee on Tuesday, we're not automatically in, but there is a chance that we could be in through the wild card. So if we do beat Milwaukee, we're in, but if we lose by less than 4 points, we can still make it as long as Orlando also beats the Knicks. So obviously, we're just hoping to win that game straight out, but there is a chance that we can qualify for the wild card through the point differential. But what we have to happen is we have to have the Magic beat the Knicks, because if the Knicks beat the Magic, then the Knicks win their division, and now the Magic become a wild card team. But as you can see, the Magic have a plus 60 point differential, so we're not catching up to that. And then also as well, if we happen to lose to the Bucks by say 10 points and the Magic still beat the Knicks like we hope, that won't be enough to slice it because the Celtics are 3-1 as well with a plus 23 point differential. So our buffer of air to lose to Milwaukee is 5 points, and the Magic have to beat the Knicks. That's the only way that we can get in through the wild card, but let's just win that game and get in and get these guys to Vegas straight up. So, to talk about the game from last night, the first player that we do need to talk about is Cade Cunningham, as he returned to action and had a huge game. 24 points for Cade to go along with 6 boards and 11 assists. He was 10 of 19 from the floor, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. He did have 6 turnovers, but man, oh man, did he put on a passing display last night. Some of the pocket passes he had to Tobias were amazing. Some of the swing passes where he was getting extra help over to him, kicking it across the floor, just chef's kiss. I mean, Cade looked like he did not miss a step at all. It looked like he is rejuvenated, he is healthy, he has as much bounce in his step as he has had all year. I know that at the start of the game, right away, when he was bringing the ball up the floor, I could tell that he was feeling good. You could see it. He had a little pep in his step, and the rest of the night showcased that. I think that there was a couple plays where he banged Siakam's knee and a couple other things that slowed him down throughout the game. But as far as the actual injury that he was out with, seemed to not affect him at all because he was reading the court as good as he ever has. And for the most part, taking smart shots and knocking him down. There was like one turnaround jump shot that I think out of all of the attempts he had out of 19 was one bad shot attempt. The other 18, all great shots. Whether they went in or didn't, most of them did, but just overall, a great game for Cade, and so happy to have him back. The second player I want to highlight from last night is Jalen Duren, because I think that he is showing a lot of signs in the right direction, even if they are just baby steps defensively, that need to be shouted out. Last night, Jalen Duren, of course, tough matchup against Miles Turner, another big who can stretch the floor. Those types of players the Pistons have traditionally and historically struggled with this year. And I think Jalen Duren did an amazing job. He had 4 blocks again tonight. That now means that he has had 4 blocks in 2 of the last 3 games. And in his entire NBA career before that stretch, he only had 4 games with more than 4 blocks. So right now, Jalen Duren is blocking as many shots as he ever has. He's playing the best defense I've seen him play in a long, long time. So wanted to give some shout outs to Jalen Duren because in 26 minutes last night, 14 points, 12 boards, 4 blocks. and only 2 fouls. That's exactly what I'm looking for out of JD, and he brought it last night. And another player that I do need to shout out from last night's game is going to be Malik Beasley. He brought in 25 points off the bench on just 14 shots. Everything he does for this team is so appreciated. If you would have told me before the season started that I would be shouting out Malik Beasley after almost every single game in these videos, I wouldn't have not believed you, but I wouldn't assume that it would have been likelier this often, because it feels like at this point every game we're having to shout out Malik Beasley, because not only is he bringing energy off the bench, he's bringing shooting off the bench, and the vibes are just immaculate with Malik Beasley. Whether it be dapping up the players after the games, in the interviews, you name it, he's just really a good veteran to have on this team. If you listen to his press conference after the game, he's talking about getting to Vegas, and man, just good vibes all around with Malik Beasley. And added bonus, he can shoot the hell out of the ball. So, shout out to Malik. Overall, I think last night was one of the best games the Pistons have played all year. They beat the Pacers, who were mostly healthy. I mean, yeah, they're missing Nembhard and whatnot, but mostly healthy, right? Like their key players, Halliburton and Turner, fully healthy, playing 30-plus minutes. Siakam, obviously healthy. I know they're missing 1 or 2 rotation guys, but this is a team that was in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals last year, and we just popped them by 24. I can't complain. Things are looking pretty good as far as my eyes are telling me. So, to talk about the game a little bit briefly tonight, the Pistons will be taking on the 76ers, who have, of course, struggled this year. They are 3-14. I know for a fact that Joel Embiid and Paul George are both still listed as out. So, I would assume that the Pistons are probably favored to win this game, especially because it's at home. I'm going to take a quick gander here, if I can pull it up, what the projections are. Because I would assume they're probably favored to win, and it might be by a good bit of margin. Right now, it says that the Pistons are 1-point favorites, which seems kind of low. It's actually up to 2.5 now. The line opened at 1, and it's up to 2.5. So, yeah, the Pistons are favored to win another game, something that we did not see a lot of last season at all, something that I would have never expected to see against the 76ers this year, but all things considered on their side, can't say that I'm that shocked, because they are currently 3-14 and don't have any light at the end of the tunnel. So really hoping that the Pistons can show up, play with the same energy they had last night, because I felt like the energy that they had last night was the polar opposite of the game before against the Grizzlies. If you told me that you believed that the Pacers game last night was the best game of the year, and the game directly before that against the Grizzlies was the worst game of the year, I really couldn't argue that heavily. I would probably push back and say that the next game might have been a little worse than the Grizzlies game, and there might have been 1 or 2 better wins than the one against the Pacers, but it's close. So hoping that we can carry the momentum that we had last night into today and take care of business on a back-to-back. If we do that, we'll be back to only 2 games under 500, and I think that's something we can live with. So let me know what you guys think, and we'll catch up soon.